What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here with Dilly Vanilli. Still waiting on Kev. Waiting on him. TikTok. We're not waiting any longer. We're going to start this up. He can do a run-in. He'll give you his picks for the top picks if he misses them. Week 16 preview predictions with the bottom line view. If you guys enjoy, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you support us. And make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we're going live, just like we are right now. Leave it in the live chat, your thoughts, your picks for week number 16. All right, Dilly Vanilli, Mr. Fat Lip, what are the standings coming into week 16? Tell the crowd how you got that fat lip, and also give us your thoughts on week 16, buddy.
Why you got to throw me under the bus like that? I can't even introduce it myself. Yeah, so yesterday, went to go get some mail. And I fell right on my face because it was raining outside. And now I got 3 stitches in my lip. So, yeah, this looks great. So it's going to be a little difficult for me to talk. And that's why I didn't have a topic video yesterday. But I'm still here, committed. Yeah, AC went 14-2 last week. Everybody else in the field went 12-4. I don't know how this bastard got 14-2, but whatever. So AC's 152-72 in first place. I'm in second with 141-83 record. Mitch is in third with 132-92 record. And Kev, ringing up the rear, 131-93. No, really, the standings didn't change, but third and fourth could change. You never know. As for week 16, I think this is actually quite a boring week in terms of games, unfortunately. There are a couple of key matchups. We have Seahawks-Cowboys. That's a big matchup. I'm waiting for Kev to come on here to talk about that one. If the Packers would have won last week, it would have been a bigger game there. But Falcons-Saints, that's a big game. And just some overall, there could be a couple of upsets that hurt some people in the standings. That's maybe what we're looking forward to this week. So a couple of bangers, couple of games you're not really looking forward to, but I'm still interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, there's a couple of games I'm looking at, but this is one of the poor weeks down the stretch, I guess. Looking at last week, the last week card ended up being even more stacked than we thought it was. It produced probably the game of the year, a couple other really good games. So week 15 was a stacked week. Week 16, not so much. I'm looking at New Orleans, Atlanta is probably the best 2 teams going at it. Also, Seattle and Dallas has probably the best hype behind it, mostly due to the fact that it's Dylan versus Cavol. But nonetheless, those are 2 teams close to myself. My dad's a Cowboys fan. I live in Vancouver, and there's a lot of Seahawks fans. So that's a big game around myself. And then you have probably another big game in the Rams and the Titans. That's a game with the Titans. If they lose, they're on the way out of the playoffs. The Rams looking to stay hot down the stretch, so that's an underrated game. I think there's a couple of other games like Miami, Kansas City is a big game just because I think Miami could give Kansas City a fight in that one. And that if Kansas City does lose that, they're back in if they're going to win the division or not, and they need to keep winning to win that division. Detroit-Cincinnati is an interesting game because if Detroit loses that, they're pretty much out. There's a couple of other ones like Buffalo-New England. Buffalo must win and stay alive in that game. So there's a couple of other ones that aren't necessarily marquee matchups or ones that you would look at and say, hey, those are really big games just off the top. But there's some interesting matchups, a lot of divisional games. So it's going to be interesting this week nonetheless. So let's just start off with, and no Thursday night football game this week. No. There are 2 on Saturday. There's a bunch on Sunday and then 2 on Monday. So starting off with the Saturday game in the AM, which is the Indianapolis Colts at the Baltimore Ravens. This one's pretty easy for me. The Ravens are a team that is surging a little bit more as of late. They've played some good football. They've gotten their run game going. Their defense is still solid. And Joe Flacco isn't as bad as he was earlier in the year. The Colts, just not a team that's really fighting at this point. They don't really need this win. They're looking more for draft position. And Baltimore needs this win a lot more than the Colts. This is in Baltimore, a tough place to play. I think the Ravens pull this one out quite handily here. and pick up another win and basically secure their spot as the 5th seed in the AFC.
Yeah, this is a pretty easy game for me. I thought the Colts were going to get that victory against the Broncos, but they didn't. This time around, they're playing a way better team in the Ravens. Ravens need that 5th seed for the wild card because we do think they'll get the 5th seed, as we'll talk about with some more games here. They're currently 7th, but I think they'll get that 5th seed going forward. It's a pretty easy matchup for them, like you said, at home. I think the line's pretty big for them.
Hello there.
Kevel, do you have a kid that I don't know about?
Do I have a kid that I don't know about?
Yes.
No, I do not have a child.
I hear.
Can you imagine Kevel as a father? People imagining Kevel as a father. Have you started yet?
He's looking dapper today. What's going on, Kevel?
Thank you. Yeah, you know, you got to look dapper for the NFL recap and stuff. Yeah.
Keep it a secret.
I will go on.
You're doing. You know why I think you're dressed like that? Because you realize it's the end of an era. It's the end of the Seahawks, and I think you have to dress up for that occasion.
I have received word there may be a guest next week on the NFL recap. One that has not come on in some time to read, write.
All right, Kevel, we're right in the middle of our Baltimore Ravens pick. I think Dylan was just about to pick the Ravens.
Dylan?
Now I can't hear Dylan now for some reason. Not only does he have a fat lip, Kevel, but I can't hear him either.
I know. What happened to Dylan?
He fought
he's
a
fine.
bear,
Okay.
and he thought he could get away with it. That's what happened. Okay. Unplug your
Dylan,
mic, put it back in, or just leave and come back. Okay.
For me?
Kevel. What? No, not you. Dylan. Kevel, what's your thoughts on Baltimore versus Indy?
I'm picking Baltimore. I just have no faith in this Colts team. I think that the moving van is out. I think that they're in retool, rebuild mode. And I think they're in a very interesting situation overall because Andrew Luck may not be back next season either. There's a lot of talk about Luck's.
I wouldn't doubt Andrew Luck coming back next season because he is with the Swedish doctors and the German and the European doctors. So I wouldn't doubt it.
I hope he is back next year. I think the league is better with an Andrew Luck. All the best to Andrew Luck and the Swedish and German doctors.
All right. Minnesota at Green Bay. This game would have been awesome if Allison did not fumble the football last week against the Carolina Panthers and given Aaron Rodgers the chance to drive the full length of the field. But the Packers are out. That also means that Aaron Rodgers is on IR, and that means that the Minnesota Vikings are going to give the Green Bay Packers a spanking on their home field in Lambeau Field. Brett Hundley, in my opinion, not a quality quarterback in the NFL. Their defense looked worse than ever last week, allowing Cam Newton to basically do whatever he pleased last week. Case Keenum, Adam Thielen, Stephon Diggs, big day for their passing game in this one. I think Minnesota proves even more that they're the most dangerous team in the NFC. Dilly.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Kev, I was fighting a bear. That's how I got this lip. It was all just the one scratch, 3 stitches. Not bad. Viking Packers. I thought this was going to be a bigger game, but now Aaron Rodgers is on IR. Vikings already clinched the NFC North. This isn't really a big game anymore. I'm going to go with the Vikings. Obviously, with Brett Hundley as the QB, I don't think he's going to lead this team to anything. No offense to them, but they're eliminated from playoff contention with that with their loss, and then the Falcons win last week. So I think Vikings are a better team. They're looking to get that number 1 seed going forward, and they need this big victory against a divisional opponent.
Yeah, going with the Vikings here, I think that they'll probably. I'm predicting they are getting the number 1 seed. They will hold that, which makes things very interesting going forward because they have a unique opportunity ahead of them. The first team to host the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. quite interesting. Yeah, going with the Vikings here.
What happens if the Eagles lose one game? Do the Vikings then take hold of first seed?
I think so.
I think the Vikings are the number 1 seed right now, even if they're tied.
No,
AC, I'm sure you can correct me.
Well, if Vikings have 3 losses, Eagles have 2.
Yeah, the Eagles only have 2.
Okay. Well,
so if they're tied, my question is, do the Vikings take it or the Eagles?
I think the Vikings do.
I think so too. If AC is listening, he can certainly correct us because he would know. But yeah.
Just a question. Tampa Bay at Carolina, another game that's kind of obvious, at least for me. This is in Carolina. This is Cam Newton on a roll, proving to be in the MVP conversation now with a few good games in a row. Tampa Bay, Jameis Winston's best game on Monday night of the season, in my opinion, looked very efficient. Mike Evans got involved. Maybe Tampa Bay pushes this defense a little bit, but I don't see this Tampa Bay defense holding up against Carolina and what they're doing on offense. I think Carolina, again, another really good December for this team with Ron Rivera as the coach, with Cam Newton as the quarterback, one of the best December teams in recent past. I think they pick up another win at home.
All right, everybody in the chat, we'll go halfway through our games, and then we'll look at the chat, and we'll go back at the second half. So, for this game, not very hyped about it. I wanted the Bucs to get that close victory against the Falcons to help our chances in the playoffs, but they weren't able to get it done. Thank you for missing the field goal too much. But it's a pretty easy game for me. And going with the Panthers, not a lot of hype towards this game. I think it'll be a very easy contest for the Panthers, and they need to get a stranglehold of possibly the 3rd or 4th seed. They might win that division still, but they still at least need to get – I mean, they'll have a pretty good grasp of the 5th seed no matter what. So I'm going to go with the Panthers.
There's a slight echo when you're talking, Dylan. Are your headphones properly put in?
Yes. They're in correctly.
All right. It's weird. Maybe it's just feedback. Kevin, what's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, picking the Panthers, the Buccaneers are preparing to have John Gruden next season as their head coach, are hoping for that. They're hoping for that. And I think, the Carolina Panthers are on a roll, and this one's quite obvious to me. You go with the Panthers.
Okay, the next game is an interesting one. We'll see where Kevol goes with it. Cleveland at Chicago. We'll see if he falls into the Cleveland Browns trap. But this is my thing. I'm not picking Cleveland to win a game ever. So I'm going to go with the Chicago Bears. They're at home. The game against the Lions was closer than the score indicated. Chicago's defense is still pretty good. They're playing at home where they're better. Trubisky has pretty much improved every single week during this season. And I think they'll be able to score enough points in this game to win. The Browns, I just don't trust them. Unless, Josh Gordon goes off for, 200 yards, which I don't see happening. They have no chance of winning any football game. So I have the Bears here winning at Soldier Field.
Hugh Jackson's 1-29 since he's head coached this team. I'm not going to pick them. I'm going to go with the Browns, the Bears. I think this will be a very easy contest for them. They had a nice win against the Bengals a couple weeks ago. Last week, they played a competitive matchup against the Lions. This one will be a very easy matchup for them. Go on, Bears.
Did you guys hear the rumors that Hugh Jackson might go to the Bengals despite probably having a 1-30 record? Who in the hell would hire a head coach that has a record of 1-30?
It's great.
Isn't that the worst record?
Rod Marinelli is a coach in this league with the Dallas Cowboys, and he's an 0-16 coach. And he's
a defensive coordinator.
I don't know.
He's not a head coach.
I don't know. I feel like Hugh Jackson deserves a shot. I know that sounds really weird considering he's 1-30, but I think he's been put in a really awful situation. But yeah, and this will continue because the Bears will win. I'm not picking the Browns here. I think the Bears. We're going to talk about this when Sports Fury comes on. Maybe we'll have a chat about this. I want to talk about this. I think the Bears are in better shape than people are giving them credit for. Honestly, I really do. I'm going to be very interested to see who coaches the Bears next year.
The Detroit Lions, the team that just beat the Bears, plays the Cincinnati Bengals in a sneaky game of the week here in Cincinnati. Detroit needs to win this game. Dallas fans want Detroit to lose. I know that for a fact. Seattle fans want Detroit to lose. I know that for a fact. Cincinnati, it is in Cincinnati, so you never know. And looking at the stats for Detroit, I don't understand why Stafford is not in the MVP conversation. They cannot run the football, as Dilly Vanilli likes to bring up. Their defense is awful. Their red zone defense is awful. They have no time of possession because they can't run the ball. They basically just asked Matt Stafford to throw the ball down the field and save them every game, and somehow they're almost a playoff team. And they're looking like they might make the playoffs. So I'm just throwing it out there. Matt Stafford maybe should be in the conversation as well. And he's in the top 5 in pretty much every stat a quarterback needs. Cincinnati. Okay, this is a team that I look at, and they have a defense that can maybe slow down Detroit. But I just think at the end of the day, Detroit has Darius Slay. I think the big matchup is Slay versus A.J. Green. And I don't think the Bengals have proven to me that they can really do much when A.J. Green doesn't have a big game on offense. So I'm going to go with Detroit. I'm going to trust Matt Stafford to get it done here in a must-win game. You guys.
I would love if the Lions lose this game because I'm a Cowboys fan. I need them to lose 1 or 2 games. But since we're doing pick'ems and I have to be honest with myself, I'm going to pick the Lions here. This is a bad matchup for the Bengals, like a terrible. See them getting many things going. They got stranglehold Bears a couple weeks ago, and against the Lions, I think it'll be worse. Throw all over the field. They won't get 100 yards because I will have a family before they get 100 yards rushing. But that being said, they will get the win.
Yeah, I'm picking the Lions here, although I'm like Dylan. I don't want this to happen. I do see this happening.
You never know with Detroit.
You never know.
That's the thing. Suspicious. This may be one I may consider changing my pick, but as of right now, I'm picking the Lions. There may be something inside of me that thinks the Bengals are going to play some inspired football, but I just don't think they have the horses to beat the Lions. But I don't think the Lions are very good.
No,
overall. I just haven't been enamored with them.
They just have one good player, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, Dylan is back. Miami at Kansas City. So we're all on Detroit. It seems like we're all on every team right now. It's kind of an easy picks on paper, I guess. Miami at Kansas City. This is another game that I brought up at the beginning of the broadcast. This could be a little bit of an interesting contest. Miami has shown that they can be competitive. They were brought back down to earth against Buffalo in Buffalo. Jay Cutler had the reverse 3 touchdown, then he had the 3 interception. Of course, will he bounce back with the 3 touchdown? Maybe against Kansas City's defense. But Kansas City's defense did play pretty well against the LA Chargers. And the reason why I'm going for Kansas City and I'm pretty safe and guaranteed on this pick is that it is in Kansas City, where the team have better. They were inspired last week. They played a huge game. They're the underdog. I feel like their backs are against the wall. And Andy Reid has a team playing with a lot of spirit. Kareem Hunt is back. Tyreek Hill is playing good. So I have Kansas City winning this game, even though I think it might be a little bit closer than people think. Dylan, we can't hear you again.
Can't hear you, Dylan.
Kevo.
Yeah, I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs here. I do think it's going to be a close game, 24-21. The Chiefs they had a really good game against the Chargers, but I've also seen times where I'm always wondering they leave points on the field. The Dolphins will battle. I like Kenyon Drake. I think that's a guy that they can build around. Adam Gase for Seahawks OC. Just kidding.
That would be good. That would be good.
Actually would be a very good pick there. So, yeah, but I think this will be a close game, but I think that Kansas City wins 24-21.
I don't think Adam Gase is going to be let go, though. Dylan.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Chiefs. Go on mute. I'm not a big fan. The Dolphins, Cutler went from 3 touchdowns now to 3 interceptions. Found that kind of funny. Chiefs put up a really good game against the Chargers. I was interested in that matchup to see who was going to be the more dominant team, and it looks like the Chiefs are. They put up some good numbers. They got more good things going for them with Tyreek Hill getting long receptions. Kareem Hunt had a nice day against the Chargers, which I wasn't expecting. It's a good matchup for the Chiefs to keep going, keep striding, and winning that division. So with that said, I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I have no confidence in the Dolphins.
Okay, next game, Buffalo at New England. The biggest storyline in this game is, of course, Rob Gronkowski playing the Bills. The game last time, just a couple weeks ago, that I was at, Gronk got suspended, and this week he's going to have to redeem himself. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him and White, and to see if they hug on the field, handshake, or if anything happens before or after the game in terms of that relationship, and if there's any apology on the field. But other than that, this is a football game that Buffalo must win, and I think they're going to give New England their best effort. But ultimately, I think this is a game that New England typically comes out. It's at home. They're back at home for the last 2 games, and they potentially, if they win these last 2 games, could play every game up until the Super Bowl at home. So New England, that being said, has too much to play for here to let one slip to Buffalo in Gillette. And I think that this is a game where they're going to fine-tune some of their aspects that they've seen on film that aren't exactly the greatest. I think this is a bounce-back game for Stephon Gilmore and for a couple of the players on defense. And I think that New England takes it, and Gronk, again, has another big game.
Yeah, this isn't a matchup I'm really looking forward to. But I think the Patriots will get this one pretty easily. I like that Tyrod Taylor is the QB. The whole Peterman thing, I don't know. But we now have this team where the Patriots have got, with that win against the Steelers, they make themselves look a lot better in terms of the standings. Now they have a grasp of that number 1 seed, unless a big loss happens here. But I don't see that happening, especially at home. I can't see that happening against the Bills. They've already had their 1 bad division loss earlier this year against the Dolphins, and I don't see it here. No offense to the Bills. I'm going with the Patriots.
Don't sleep on the Bills. Not that they're going to win. I'm picking the Patriots, but they're actually opposing quarterbacks have a cumulative 77.0 passer rating, which is 3rd best in the NFL. So this defense is a little bit underrated, playing very well, but they are not going to beat New England, unfortunately. But I do think this is going to be a closer game than Dylan thinks.
Yeah, I think it could be competitive. I'm just not really worried because it's in New England. If this was in Buffalo, I'd be a little bit more worried. But I saw how they played against them 2 weeks ago, and I just think New England will be too much. So the next game is Atlanta at New Orleans. This game is probably one of the games of the week, probably the one that I'm second most looking forward to, just because of the hype behind Seattle, Dallas. But this will probably be the better game behind 2 better teams. This is a game that Atlanta won in a close one in Atlanta just a few weeks ago. Drew Brees threw the pick in the end zone. That was a really good game. I expect another really good one this week. I think these 2 teams match up very well with each other. Remember, Alvin Kamara left that game early on, and he was a huge aspect to their game plan. He already had 40 yards and 4 plays in that game. So I think he's going to be a huge killer in this game. I think Michael Thomas will have another good game here. And I think that the Saints will just have a little bit more offense than they did the last time around. And this is in New Orleans, which I tend to give the advantage in this matchup in particular. New Orleans, Atlanta, 2 big home fields to the home team. And I think Atlanta already won their game against New Orleans. I just think they're going to draw even. So I'm going to go with New Orleans here. And I think that this is also a big game just because if Atlanta loses, then this opens the door for some other teams like a Dallas, like a Seattle, like a Detroit. So I'm going with New Orleans, though, which will open the door.
We're going to go to comments after this game preview. This is a big one for me, obviously. As a Cowboys fan, I'm looking to see if the Falcons lose. For any of us, either the Falcons, Saints, or Panthers can lose 2 times, and we would make the playoffs if we won and Detroit lost 1. So technically it doesn't matter, but I think the Falcons have the hardest of the matchups because they play the Saints this week and they'll play the Panthers next week. So those are two big teams in their division. I'm going to go with the Saints. Like you said, I think the key point in their first matchup was that Kamara got hurt very early on in that game. He's a big part of their offense. He helped me in Madden 18. He got me a kickoff return for a touchdown. But I want some money off that, baby. But yeah, in this game, I just think that Kamara is the big purpose here. The Falcons have looked pretty decent last couple weeks, but people are like, oh, they're back to their stride and everything. And let's not go too far ahead of ourselves. It'll be a fun game, though. It was a good matchup last time when we saw it on Thursday Night Football. I don't think it's going to be as low scoring. Last time it was 20-17. I think this time it'll be like I'm going to say like 34-28. Like I'm expecting some high scoring in this game. Should be fun, but like you said, I think the home field advantage for the Saints goes in their favor this time around.
If it does get to a high-scoring contest, I don't think Atlanta can quite match what the Saints have on offense, personally.
Yeah, and everybody's healthy because Lattimore was hurt those couple weeks in between, and it wasn't that particular game, but, everybody's healthy, so.
Yeah, I've not been enamored with the Falcons. I think every opportunity that they had to
prove themselves,
really make a statement, they've shot themselves in the foot. They really shot themselves in the foot against the Seahawks in a lot of ways. If it wasn't for Blair Walsh, they would have lost that game. They almost lost to Tampa Bay. I just don't think when they face a really good team that they're actually that good, and they're facing a good team now. And like Dilly, this is a pick with the heart because if the Falcons go 0-2 and we beat the Cowboys, we have that shot as well. So a lot of thoughts and prayers to the New Orleans Saints from the Seattle Seahawks fan. But I actually don't think that this will be close either. I think the Saints are going to make a statement. Remember this. Last year, the Falcons, everyone was talking about how hot the Falcons were, but they forget they almost blew a 35-0, 42-0 lead to the New Orleans Saints last year at the end of the season. So I don't know. I'm not sold on this Falcons team. I don't believe when the chips are down that I don't believe in the Falcons. The chips are down. Pick the Saints.
I think Atlanta, just watching them last week, I was a little concerned going into this matchup what I saw from their defense against Tampa Bay. I thought that Tampa Bay passing the ball was able to do a lot that I didn't really expect. So I think that a guy like Sean Payton and Drew Brees are going to be able to capitalize on that and maybe take some things away from that game. Tampa Bay kind of screwed around a little bit too much, but I think New Orleans will be able to do the same things, and I think that definitely hurts Atlanta. So it's going to be an interesting game. Yep. Next one, the Chargers.
I thought we were going to go to the chat. But
okay, go ahead.
Okay. Rob's in the chat. He says, what up? You felt a little sick. Prayers to you. Bodo has changed his name, it looks like. It's now Bodo. It's 100% curse on the Patriots winter. Who says, yo, I don't know if that's I don't know if that is, but I'm guessing it is.
What's going on with cursing the Patriots? Is this now a new thing? Like AC is doing it, Bodo is doing it.
AC started the tide. AC started the tide, He came on that stream Sunday and gave us a fun one, So everybody was like, where's Kevel? Where's Kevel? Rob says he was on assignment. Yes, you are. Thank you, Rob, for the speedy recovery. Sucks. Colin says Bills will upset the Patriots. You never know. BLV NHL says beauties and goat. Well, appreciate that. It's probably fitty, but appreciate it.
You gotta watch their epic Eric Carlson for John Tavares trade talk. That was some epic stuff. I stirred that pot.
Epic. Also, I've been on there 2 times. Talking a lot of Penguin stuff and Canucks and other trade rumors. So check it out.
I'll be on there when I get the bracket again in the playoffs. Bobby says Detroit will win out. I mean, you probably, but we'll see.
Chances went up probably 25% when Aaron Rodgers got put on IR.
Yeah, that's what hurts us for sure.
Honestly, I think the Lions' chances are sitting really pretty. Really pretty.
But you never know. They're the Lions. They kind of have that reputation.
But
Training Solution says Luck's injury is being pushed back so long it sucks. There was a lot of S's that hurt my lip. Rob says Colts have to consider drafting a QB next year. How do you feel about that?
I wouldn't.
If he comes back next year and he's not 100%, I might have to consider it.
He's probably better than 95% of the quarterbacks in the draft.
Yeah, I don't. This isn't.
And I think
I don't.
Back anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. It depends. Depends. Not like this draft, but like the
Not
draft.
a high round regard.
Yeah,
I don't think they need to spend a first round pick on it.
They have too many holes. They need to draft offensive line.
No, I'm not talking about this year. I'm talking about the year after.
Linebacker, corner, tight. They need to draft everything.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying like not this year. I'm thinking the draft after, but I would think it was what they were saying.
No, but he's talking about this year, so that's what I was asking.
Who is?
The question.
Well, no. Rob says I'm guessing he meant like the year after. Like he said next year, but I'm thinking like 2018, after the 2018 season. I don't know.
Well, we don't know enough information for that, to be honest. So
I'm just saying if he doesn't come back healthy, like towards the start of next season, I don't know. Marco says Cowboys ain't making the playoffs. Cool.
Because the Lions were.
Eagles need to win one more game. They need to win one more game to get that number 1 seed, I think.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough though. The Lions both teams need the Falcons to lose both games. So like, it's probably still looking like the Falcons are gonna make it. It's just the outside shot, and then like the Cowboys are 3rd in line. The Seahawks are 4th in line. So it's not looking good.
I just want to make the point that the Rams have not clinched the NFC West yet.
Oh god, yeah, totally.
Technically, we have another way in still.
Seahawks would have to be 2nd in line, wouldn't they?
No, they have.
What's that?
They have how many losses?
They have 6.
Okay.
Yeah, but they haven't technically.
I don't. Why'd you just get muted?
Okay, there you go.
I muted myself.
You muted yourself. I don't know why my stream just went on for a second. Colin says Bears will hire Mid McAdoo as their head coach. Yes, that would be great.
To God, no. I can't take this.
That would be terrible.
The Rams have 4 losses. So if Rams lose next 2 games,
the NFC West.
I'm just saying. If it happens, I'm just saying. I know. I'm not. It's just saying mathematically.
Kev, you won't even win this week. What are you talking about? Let's see here. Gase is safe. Rob says.
I agree.
Training Solution says Kev is sharp. Yes. He's a sharp dressed man for a man that takes a lot of L's. What else is here? Trading Solution says 31-24, close game with the Patriots. He's still got the Patriots, though. Rob's got the Saints. These people are arguing in the chat. Bodo says Falcons can't score 28 points. BLV NHL says Kevo is looking legendary tonight. Legendary. I wonder if that was John or Fitty. Either way, I like that. Do you guys play fantasy football? Says I am the best. Yes, we actually have a fantasy league of our own channel. I think AC's in the championship, which sucks, but just kidding. Yeah, we do play fantasy football though. All 3 of us do. Let's see here. You almost did. Kevin R says Seahawks going to take the last wild card spot. No argument, which I find funny because there's a lot of ways you can argue that. Yankee King says Giants are failures. Yes, they are indeed. And then Training Solutions ends with Kevin R saying you're trolling at this point. All right. Chat. Oh shit. And Mitch just left the stream for a minute. we are having a lot of technical issues today. I don't really know why. And this is not very good. But I guess I'll open up the next game. Chargers and Jets. Okay. Oh, is he back? What happened, Mitch?
He is back. By the way, it's Johnny B that is on the BLB NHL, just so you know.
Johnny B. Yeah. I like that. Okay. Preview again. Chargers versus Jets, Kev. The Chargers come off a big loss against the Chiefs. But they still have a chance to make the wild card at the 6th spot, considering the Titans have a very hard 2-game schedule, which we'll talk about. And the Jets, who lost their quarterback, Josh McCown, a couple of weeks ago, which pretty much ruined any shot of them actually being any good, and their hopes of looking like a credible team. I'm going to go with the Chargers here, even though I did pick the Chargers to beat the Chiefs, and I was thoroughly disappointed by the performance of Phillip Rivers, who threw 3 interceptions. I still think this is a pretty easy victory for him for this game. He plays the Raiders Week 17, which will be different. But in this game, against the Jets, they don't have much to cheer for, and with their best player out, you got to pick the Chargers here. I think there's no question about it. Kev, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Chargers here, but I actually think that this game is going to be a lot closer than you think. I think that Todd Bowles has this team playing with a lot of heart and passion, and I don't think that they're going to care that Josh McCown's out. They're going to play well. I wonder what this loss to the Kansas City is going to do to the Chargers overall with their psyche. I think that concerns me a bit because it wasn't a close game. It was a blowout, and Rivers did not have a good game. So Chargers here.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it was a closer game. It could be a closer game. You never know. It should be interesting. Mitch is back, looks like.
Yo.
We were just finishing up our preview of Chargers Jets.
All right. I got the Chargers here. Pretty easy. The Jets, they have Bryce Petty. I don't trust a team led by Bryce Petty. He's like the 88th best quarterback in the NFL. The Chargers, yeah, they lost Hunter Henry. That kind of sucks. They're dealing with some injuries. That kind of sucks. But I think Phillip Rivers, Keenan Allen is enough to power them to this victory. And hopefully the Chargers can still make their way into the playoffs.
All right. I said, Mitch, I think this game's going to be closer than you think. I think that the Jets, I think Todd Bowles has this Jets team fighting, despite McCown or Petty, they still will fight. I'm picking the Chargers, but I think this game will be closer than you think.
We would add it to the T-shirt if you bet the Jets.
Don't have a chance of winning. I just think we're if they had McCown, I might pick the Jets, but they don't. So
we might have to put. We were going to put it on the new tour T-shirt for Kev if he had picked the Jets. That would have been the weekly one.
Yes, it would have been week number 16 pick. New York Jets over Chargers.
Kev, we're ranking this tour T-shirt of all your epically terrible picks.
So my idea, Kev, is that it's like a tour T-shirt, like a band tour T-shirt, except it has all of your bad picks on it. So like week 10, Cleveland Browns over whoever. Week 11, Cleveland Browns. Week 12, Cleveland Browns. Like every Cleveland Brown, and then you have like all the other bad picks you had.
Don't worry, we love you, Kev. We all got T-shirts for ourselves.
He probably picked the Cleveland Browns like 5 times.
At least 3.
I picked 3. I did pick it 3 times. Yeah.
I'll actually, in the filming of this video, I'll make sure. I'll check it out. We continue.
All right. Next game, we have the LA Rams at the Tennessee Titans. This is one of the biggest games of the week, in my opinion. One game that I'll be watching closely. The Rams absolutely raped the Seattle Seahawks last week. Ran up and down the field with Todd Gurley. Jared Goff basically didn't even have to do anything. He just showed up and handed the ball off to Todd Gurley. And their defensive line with Aaron Donald, Robert Quinn combined for 5 sacks, just those 2 guys together. And basically, Aaron Donald and Russell Wilson might as well have been spooning in the backfield. It was that ridiculous. The Rams are going to pick up this victory here. They're going to absolutely destroy the Titans in this game. I don't care if it's in Tennessee. The Titans are a fraud. The Titans lost to Jimmy G and the 49ers, and the Titans are going to find their way out of the playoffs. Thank Jesus, because they're terrible. The Rams will beat them, and the Rams will continue to improve and will continue to be on the radar for a lot of people picking playoff teams this season.
There you go. We still need to talk about Redskins Broncos. I think that got left out.
We're going to get to that next.
Okay. Rams-Titans, last week we said it was imperative that the Titans beat the 49ers to make the playoffs because they play the Rams, and then they played the Jaguars week 17. They didn't. Jimmy G beat them, who's been fantastic as QB. We'll get to the 49ers game later. But he got them the victory, clutch victory. And the Titans are DUNE. They are dead in the water because now they have to play two of the top 5 teams in the NFL. Or at least the Jaguars are pretty close. In this case, the Rams are going to win. They smoked, ham-cooked smoked the Seahawks last week. And I think they'll have no trouble whatsoever doing it against the Titans. So, going with the Rams.
I also will be picking the Rams here. Todd Gurley had an opportunity to run to Pike Place, pick up a coffee at the original Starbucks there, head back, stopped off at the Mariners store, picked up a jersey there for collector items. I think they did some other tourist things as well. Stopped off at the Seattle Aquarium. Still was not touched by a Seahawk defender during that entire time. One thing I am concerned about is Greg Zuerlein. I know it's a kicker, but Greg Zuerlein is out for the season. And I do think that's a bigger loss going forward. Won't matter this week because the Titans are a fraud, folks. They're fake. But I think going forward, that's a big loss for the Rams, Zuerlein, because one of the things that they did very well last week was a number of things, but that special teams for the Rams, strength for them, and losing Zuerlein is going to be tough.
All right. The next matchup is the Denver Broncos at the Washington Redskins. I have the Redskins here basically because they're at home. They impressed me a little bit against Arizona, a team that runs a similar 3-4 scheme with similar players to Denver. And I think Washington can do the same things despite all their injuries. Kirk Cousins still powering them through. And I think, basically at home, I don't trust Denver to score enough points to keep up and win this game. And they're done. There's nothing else to be said. So I'm going to go with the Redskins to pick up another late season win.
For the Redskins, they picked up the victory against the Cardinals 20-15. It wasn't a very exciting game, but they won. Broncos did pick up the Thursday night football victory against the Colts, which was, Brock was okay. It wasn't great. It was okay. But I think the Redskins are the better team here. They're the more complete team, with all the entries said. But still, I think they'll get the victory here. They got Kirk Cousins, and I think that'll do enough for them. So, Redskins.
Oh, man, we're being boring. I'm sorry. But Kirk Cousins is auditioning to be the Denver Broncos quarterback next year. And these are two coaches on the hot seat. One's definitely gone. One might be on. I'm going with – I might be going with Denver here. I might go with Denver here. I might do it.
Why is yours the tour t-shirt?
I'm thinking about this. I don't think both of these teams are really not very good.
No.
Frankly, it's a pick 'em. I guess you give the edge to Cousins. I did pick Washington last week. I just think Denver's defense is going to do enough to win this game. It's going to be terrible, but Denver. I'm picking Denver.
All right.
I'm going to be different this time. I'm going with Denver. I wouldn't be surprised if Washington won, but there's got to be some difference.
This will be on the T-shirt if you lose, though. I'm just going to let you know that.
Jacksonville Jaguars, the second best team in the AFC, travels to the San Francisco 49ers to take on Jimmy Garoppolo. And quite honestly, the Jacksonville Jaguars are the best team in football, but have the 40th best quarterback. I'll move them up to 40, okay? 40th quarterback. I'm not going any higher because the reason why they've had success is because he's been able to hit the wide open receiver. So that's good. Jaguars, as long as Blake Bortles keeps hitting those wide open receivers, they have a chance to win the Super Bowl. No doubt about it. They have a great defense. They can run the football. They can play decent special teams. Their coaching is solid. They play good situational ball. Jacksonville's been a solid team down the stretch. They're facing a team and a coach that knows everything about what their defense is going to do. He's faced so first off, his defensive coach runs the same scheme as the Jaguars. He faced the Seattle Seahawks twice last year. He was in Atlanta, who runs the same scheme as the Jacksonville Jaguars. So San Francisco and Kyle Shanahan is going to challenge the Jacksonville defense in terms of schemes and different plays that they can maybe match up against Jacksonville. But I just think the Jimmy and the Joes, the guys that are playing the game, just aren't good enough for San Fran to win this one. And Jimmy is playing great, but I think the first loss of his career will come at the hands of Jalen Ramsey, A.J. Bouye, and these two Pro Bowl starting cornerbacks for the AFC. I have Jacksonville winning this game, and I think it will be closer than I think a lot would expect. I would probably be within a touchdown, but I think Jacksonville will take it.
Kev, I've counted the amount of Browns, and so far you've picked the Browns 3 times. So not done yet.
So they would be 13-3 if the season ended.
Not done yet. But Jags 49ers, Jimmy G continues to find ways to get them victories. He beat the Titans last week. It was a good performance from him. The Jaguars continue to roll. They're looking like a pretty damn good team, and a team I wouldn't want to play with that defense, all things considered. All streaks have to come to an end for Jimmy G, unfortunately. He will lose this game against the Jaguars. I like the guy. I think he's a very talented QB, and they have found their quarterback for the future. But with the talent that he has here, he's just not going to be able to find the victory against a pretty damn good team. Like you said, with those 2 great cornerbacks, Pro Bowl cornerbacks. And I think they're going to give him a lot of pressure, especially with San Francisco's offensive line, which has been
And he's been hit a lot in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and that's not going to be that's not something I want to have against the Jaguars. So, Giants going to pick up this victory. Blake Bortles, for the amount of shit we've given him, 40 best QB, whatever, he has played a pretty great last 3 games. So I'll give him that one credit when credit's due. He's played well, so I'm going to go with the Jags.
Underrated receiver right now, Keegan Cole.
I
Very.
was just going to say underrated receiver Marquise Goodwin.
Marquise Goodwin.
Well, him too. Yeah. But that combination. Yeah. D.D. Westbrook and Keegan Cole are a very good combination. Blake Bortles has played well. Jacksonville is going to be very tough to beat. I think both New England and Pittsburgh are going to want to avoid them and get that number 1 seed because Jacksonville will get the 3rd seed. I'm picking the Jags here. Just think that they're right now a very complete team, and San Francisco's growing and are up and coming, but this is not this game, not this time.
Oh, Kev, I just got to the one where you picked the Browns against the Jags. I just want to figure that out. So there's 4. There's 4.
He picked them against
the Browns over to who?
Yeah, you picked the Browns over the Jags 1 week. So I just
Yes, I did.
That's on the sheet.
Because
sure.
Yeah.
Just that's the headline shirt.
Isn't there a part of you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but isn't there a part of you that is waiting for the shoe to drop on this Jacksonville team? Like, I don't see it, but in some ways,
I'm just waiting for Blake Bortles to shit himself.
This is a letdown.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Like, not against the Jag or like not against the Browns. I'm sorry.
I think it's gonna happen in the playoffs at one point.
Yeah,
but I just don't know when that will be.
Could definitely be the case.
Next game, the New York Football Giants are taking on the Arizona Cardinals in one of the sleepers of the week, which nobody gives a shit about because
like actual
an actual sleeper. We're gonna all be napping during this game. Probably. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. I've been on the Cardinals train. I think Bruce Arians has inspired this team with very little talent. Larry Fitzgerald still picking it up and might get another 100 reception season in this game. He made another Pro Bowl, looking for a Hall of Fame. Cardinals will win this one just because I think that they're playing better football and the Giants are absolutely terrible. Yes, they had a decent game against the Eagles and pushed them to the limit, but that was a divisional game. I expect that sort of thing every once in a while. Cardinals at home will take the win.
Kev, I had just finished it up, and you had picked the Browns 4 times this season. Congrats. I picked them once. Giants, Cardinals.
I think I picked them once.
Yeah, I think I also saw picked them once. So there you go. There's our averages this year. Well, yeah, I mean, because in Pick'em, you kind of have to want to pick somebody like once this season, like, give them a shot. Giants,
we're gonna pick them.
Never again.
Never again.
Giants, Cardinals. I probably no. Actually, the game will be on the same time the Seahawks Cardinals will be on, so I will not be sleeping. But metaphorically, if the TV was on simulcast, I might be sleeping. These are two terrible teams. The Cardinals didn't pick up the victory against the Redskins when I thought they would. They just kicked field goals and decided that was going to be the winner, but nope. And the Giants are just trash. I don't even care if they put up points against the Eagles. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. It's not like I'm going to say they're the better team because I think they're still trash, but like they kind of are a better team. If that makes any sense. So like there's like one that's like
4 wins. They're better by like 3 or 4 wins.
But like in power rankings, the Giants would be like 30th, and like the Cardinals would be like 24th. So like, yeah, they're better, but like, are they really? Like, do we even care?
Yes, they've won like 3 more games.
Yeah, but they're still terrible. I'm going Cardinals though.
I will like to say that Cavill, by his picks of the Browns, picked the Browns to win 1 more game than he picked before the season the Baltimore Ravens to win. Just think about that for a second.
Well, he picked 5 and 11 for the Browns, which I did too, but I didn't pick them in picks after I saw the performance.
I think the most impressive prediction, not even the 30 or whatever nothing Tennessee Titans game, the most impressive prediction was that he picked the Baltimore Ravens to go 3-13 when they won their first 3 games. That is impressive stuff, Campbell. Good job.
Again, I'm going to remind everyone that we're not expecting Joe Flacco to start the season.
No, actually, all 3 of us.
All right, Campbell, give us your pick.
I still don't think this Ravens team is very good. Anyway, I'm picking the Cardinals here. I forgot which game we were watching. I agree with Dylan that these teams are not very good, but the Giants are really, 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 really not very good. And Steve Spagnuolo is not a good coach. Even in an interim situation, he's never proven to be a good coach. So I will give Bruce Arians the edge in this one, and Larry will go off and have a big game because these Giants don't anymore.
Okay, we're going to skip Seattle and Dallas and leave it till the end. We're going to go with Pittsburgh and Houston. This game is going to be played on Monday, so on Christmas. This was supposed to be Watt versus Watt. JJ is not playing. Also not playing is Antonio Brown, who Cavill said was the MVP before the game against the Patriots. I think this game will be dictated by what Le'Veon Bell and what Big Ben can do with his other targets in the game. Houston, I just don't think their offense is good enough, although we've seen bad offenses have good games against the Steelers in the last few weeks. I just don't think this is a place where the Steelers could lose. They should win this game very easily, even on the road after a tough loss to New England. I do think that Le'Veon will not have his best game on the ground, seeing as how Houston is one of the best teams against the run. But I do think that Pittsburgh will find some secondary options. I think Martavis Bryant has another good game here, and I think that Big Ben continues to roll, and I think they'll win something like 30-14.
In our 2-hour, 27-minute, 41-second video on Sunday, which we talked about the Patriots-Steelers game for an hour and a fucking half, you can see that we complimented the Steelers a bunch of times and said, quote, they played an almost perfect game against the Patriots. They're playing the Texans. So even if they put 25% of their effort as they did against the Patriots, they will still win this football game. The Texans have way too many injuries to even qualify as a defense this season. I don't think they're going to put much pressure on Big Ben. They're going to have to use other targets, but I think Bryant will be a key factor. Juju Smith-Schuster is going to be a big target. Jesse James, will he make the touchdown? Probably. Nothing. Okay. Yeah, I don't see the Texans putting up much fight with TJ Yates, if anybody. Steelers are going to win this one. There's no Christmas miracle for the Texans.
Yeah, I'm picking Pittsburgh here, even without Antonio Brown. There's too many weapons. And I think they might take out their frustrations on Houston after a very tough day in the office of Pittsburgh. And go check that out. I still have to finish watching that 2.5-hour marathon that you guys did.
Are you on season 2 or 3?
Season 2.
Oh, okay. Oakland at Philadelphia. So I wish he was here, but he is not. Nick Foles has another contest to win. This one's in Philadelphia, so I'm not quite worried. Plus, he's playing the Oakland Raiders. I think this is the team where he threw like 100 touchdowns against, but I'm not quite sure.
I think it is.
So if he does that again, I'll give him his credit where credit is due. I don't think that will happen. I think Oakland's defense has been a little bit better as of late, showcased against the Cowboys. But I think that Oakland's offense is still yet to live up to what it was supposed to live up to. And I think Philadelphia's defense has a little bit of a bounce back, even though I'm concerned at this point from them giving up like 500 yards to the Giants, which is never good. But I have the Eagles winning. It's at home. And I think that they need this win to secure a bye. So I'm going to go with the Eagles.
I watched the Raiders put up no effort on offense in the first half and get things going in the second half. Their defense did play well, all things considered. Pretty wild game, but the Raiders ended up losing. For the Eagles, they played hard against the Giants. It didn't look like it was going to be that in the first quarter, but they got it through. Nick Foles threw 4 touchdowns. They're going to need their defense to show up again, but I think they will against the Raiders. I got the Eagles here. I don't know if Foles is going to throw for 7 touchdowns like he did that one time, but I think he'll get the victory. Raiders just don't have enough heart in them, and they were playing that game against the Cowboys with their life because they had an outside chance of making the playoffs, and now they're eliminated from playoff contention. So even if they wanted to go out there with their effort, they really can't because it doesn't mean much to them. So I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Yeah, this is you know what? I'm still taking Vikings to finish first in this division, but I'm picking the Eagles here. I'm giving you a preview for next week, Dilly. I'm giving you a preview for next week.
Ooh, thank you.
Week. And pissing off AC again.
Add to the list.
One thing, I'm going to be curious what you guys think. I don't think that secondary in the Eagles is as good as people think. I think that's one area where I think they can be had. I think their front seven is fine, but if they have time, I think that's where the Eagles are a little weak. That's a weakness on their defense, but I do think that they will win this week. But I don't know if they're going to beat the Cowboys next week. I'm going to say it right now.
I've been saying it. I think the Eagles are one and done in the playoffs. I've been saying it since they lost Wentz, and that's not really nothing against. That's not really anything against the Eagles. I just think when you lose an MVP caliber player, it impacts the team in more than one way, and I just think like one of these teams is going to upset them in the first round, or in the divisional round. I think it's going to happen, and it might not happen, and they might prove me wrong, but that's my prediction at this point in time.
Yeah.
All right. In the last game, Seattle Seahawks at the Dallas Cowboys. I'll leave it up to these two boys to go at it. We'll start off with Dilly Vanilli's argument for why the Cowboys will win this game.
Okay, so I was in the process of watching the Seahawks. Or I was watching the Patriots Steelers game while the Seahawks Rams game was going on. We're going to talk about the Cowboys game first. So Sunday Night Football, the Cowboys won with index cards. They won with fumbles and touchbacks. Pretty anxious, nervous game for me, but the Cowboys ended up picking the victory. The Seahawks got smoked by the Rams. It was a pretty embarrassing performance. Kev even said that in the chat. This is a very interesting matchup. I have been looking forward to this week for a while, and now it means even more because the loser of this game is out of the playoffs. The loser of this game will not make the playoffs, and the winner has at least an outside chance of making the playoffs. The Cowboys have looked pretty good on offense the last couple of games. They've looking better. They're getting more targets. Dez is getting some nice receptions. He only had 2 catches last week, but they were pretty big catches to say the least. The receivers are getting, a little bit more open. Witten, as old as he is, he still gets one catch every here and there. And the defense, with DeMarcus Lawrence, who just got named to the Pro Bowl, awesome, has been putting up some pretty good numbers. The key factor, though, is the return of Ezekiel Elliott. 6-game suspension, clearing the air. He is back. And while I do like Alfred Morris and Rod Smith combination, Ezekiel Elliott is a huge thing to this team. That's how they built their system when he was playing. That's how they were doing so well. And now he's back. We saw what Todd Gurley did and absolutely killed the Seahawks for 4 touchdowns. I'm not going to sit here and see Zeke is going to get 4 touchdowns, but I think he'll provide a huge confidence booster for the Cowboys, especially at home. Those Cowboys fans are going to be rowdy. That's a huge advantage. Zeke's back. I'm going with the Cowboys. I mean, both teams have something to prove here. They got to win this game, but I think the Cowboys just have a little bit more of the edge.
Well, there's a lot not to disagree with our Dylan's argument here. You look at last week. You look at what happened in the Seahawks. As I mentioned, Todd Gurley had to walk to Pike Place, Seattle General Hospital, the Space Needle, the new renovations at Key Arena that will be going on. Went downtown, picked up another coffee, went to the Seattle Aquarium, had a look at the ocean, went back, and no defender in Seattle touched him at all. It was a completely embarrassing performance to the point that Pete Carroll's under heat. There is already suggestions, and one of the suggestions is Carroll's time up? That's a conversation for another day. And then you had the Bobby Wagner, Earl Thomas situation. Wagner apologized for how he handled the tweet. You have questions about Jimmy Graham's future. You have an offensive line that needs to be revamped. You have a running game that I think actually, if they used it last week, they might have been okay. It might have been okay. They played Wagner last week. Wright will be back. Wagner is practicing, but KJ Wright will be back. I think that's going to be key. Okay, so I know who Mitch is going with. I know what AC is going with, and I understand that. I'm still picking the Seahawks, and I know that this is mostly with my heart, but I also think that this 42-7 loss last week might have been the best thing that happened to this team. The more I think about it, I think that that's the way to go at it. At the very least, if we lose, it's not necessarily a bad thing because we have to revamp this team anyway. This team has to go through a revamp. There's no question about it. Callan Cowherd said that the Rams passed him. I wouldn't disagree. He also thinks the 49ers passed him. And I think at this point, it's an interesting argument about that. But I think the Seahawks, I don't know how. I don't think Zeke is going to be as good as you think, Dylan. I think there's a lot of questions of what he's been up to on his 6-game suspension. He doesn't look the same.
They filmed a documentary, so if you want any questions,
he actually looks better.
He looks really good.
Well, we'll see. I think the Seahawks are going to play inspired football. I think that they're going to play a lot on fire. I don't think that you should expect this to be an easy victory, Dylan. I don't. I think the Seahawks will come out and play some inspired football because they need to. But I do think ultimately in the end here, I mean, this is mostly hard, but I can see it. I see the Seahawks winning this game. I know I may be crazy, but I just have faith. And as a priest, you must not only give last rites, you must preserve his faith. And for faith, I give faith to Seahawks. I'm picking the Seahawks.
Okay, as for my pick, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys, and I'm confident in this pick. I think they're going to win by 10 plus in this.
Oh.
I watched that game last week. Not only did nobody touch Todd Gurley, but it was just the worst performance I've seen from the Seattle Seahawks in 5+ years of football. This team,
I agree.
They let down Russell Wilson. They let down the entire 12s and all the bandwagoners out there. And I think they're going to let them down once again. I think this defensive line of the Cowboys is going to get after Russell Wilson, and I think it's going to be a tough day for him, especially with what Dylan brought up, a jacked-up crowd. And you're going to have Zeke back, and I think this is a guy that's going to be motivated in the same way that, from speaking from experience as a Patriots fan, in the same way that Tom Brady was motivated after his suspension, in the same way that Rob Gronkowski was motivated from his suspension. I think Zeke Elliott is going to have a huge game here. I think he's going to prove why he's the MVP and the best player on the Dallas Cowboys. And I think he's going to provide a spark to this entire team. I think the Cowboys, if they can sneak into the playoffs, are a dangerous, motivated team, even though they have shown some bumps and some bruises. I think Dak, and the thing about the Dallas Cowboys that I have really liked the past couple of weeks is that Dez Bryant is starting to kind of reform a little bit. He's become a little bit more aggressive. He's been a little bit better after the catch. He's making plays down the field. And I think this is going to impact the game the most. When Zeke is running, how are the Seahawks going to cover their receivers? Because we've seen the impact without Zeke and how bad the Dallas receivers have been unable to get open and all that. But we're going to see how much it opens up the game for the passing game. And I think that's what we're going to see in this game, is that when the Seahawks are having difficulties with the run game and when the Dallas Cowboys are setting up the run game, what's going to happen off that run game? And I think that's going to be the biggest story of this game, is Dez Bryant and Dak Prescott getting back on track. So I have the Dallas Cowboys, I'm sorry, Kevil, winning this game in a big fashion, and I think they're going to make a statement that's just big time, that they're ready to make a run to the playoffs.
I'll say this. I don't fear Dez Bryant, and I don't fear these receivers. I do fear Elliott, but I don't fear these receivers. I do think that this secondary with Earl Thomas and KJ Wright back, who's more in coverage, and Shaq Griffin, who's a pretty solid cornerback. I don't.
You're still trying to sell me on Griffin. I don't really get it, but
I think he's a lot better than you think. Maxwell may be weak, but I think right back in coverage, I think, will help. And
is that defense even stable after their comments last week?
What's that?
Are they even stable after their comments last week? That's my
probably.
question.
I mean, it's a comment. I mean, there's probably shit that is said in every locker room that nobody knows about. This was in public. It was a stupid thing that Wagner did. I still don't know if
makes it worse.
I don't know if Wagner should even play this week. To be honest with you, he can't get even if he's marginally improved at 70%, and I would think someone else would be better there. But I don't fear the Cowboy receivers. I do fear Elliott. I could agree with you on that, but I don't fear the receivers.
Well, to that argument, the receivers weren't that big of a threat last week, but the running back was. So
the Rams?
The Rams. Goff didn't do shit last week, but Gurley did all the work.
Actually, Woods was open quite a bit. Actually, Woods had a good game. Cooper Kupp almost got a touchdown. I do think Rams receivers are better than the Cowboy receivers overall. I think they present more of a challenge. What's that?
They still didn't put up win-breaking numbers. I mean, Woods did have a decent game, but
they didn't have to.
Exactly, and the Cowboys might not have to either. But I'm saying that I think that what we're going to see is the impact that Zeke has not only on the run game, but on the rest of the team. That was my point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and here's the thing. Again, I'm going to say this again. This will sound really weird to say, but I actually don't think missing the playoffs is necessarily a bad thing, because it's one of those things where a step back can be a step forward, and this team can start to revamp. Coaching staff wise, I think that's really going to be key. And rebuilding it's not necessarily a bad thing if we miss the playoffs. I do want us to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, obviously. So those are our picks for week number 16, our preview, our predictions. Thank you guys for being here in the live chat. We're going to take a few more comments, and Dilly will read them out, and then we'll say goodnight.
I will say that we only had 2 completely different picks this entire week, so this was a very
I know.
week.
I know.
Sorry, guys.
It's a pretty easy.
It's a really soft week this week. I even said it to Dylan before we went on air. I was like, I don't know how many different picks we're gonna have. This is a really easy week.
And I haven't gotten AC's picks, but I'm pretty confident he'll have some of the same picks. And both of those different picks, by the way, were from Kev. So, and one was his own team.
Yeah, we have the same.
You gotta have something different.
The Broncos, baby, the Broncos. Marco says if the Falcons win the next 2 games, they win the NFC South. Is that true? Oh, because they do play the Saints. Yeah, that would make sense. Yep, that's true. I am the best says, do the Bears draft a receiver? Yes. Yeah, they got to draft. They got to draft at least one receiver because it's not a talented class, but they have nobody. So they have nobody. Ferocious Film says, "Damn it! I wish we would have made the trade to get Garoppolo." Of course. I mean, everybody wants Jimmy G. Let's see here. Bodo says this is the type of game Pittsburgh loses for no reason. Hey, they're not great against bad teams. They're not great against bad teams this season.
That's true. That is very true. And it is going to be interesting to see how they respond.
I don't know. Bodo has a comment for us for saying that the Steelers had an almost perfect game, Mitch. Let's hear it.
All right, let's hear it.
He said, I forgot to call you guys out for that. They didn't play an almost perfect game for fourth quarter. It was horrible. Drop interceptions, shitty playing calling. You can't say it was an almost perfect game.
That's the almost part of the perfect game.
They played a pretty good game. Like they brought everything.
They played a really good game, except for like the last 4 or 5 minutes, and then they kind of shit the bed. So it was an almost perfect game. But again, it seems like a lot of teams shit the bed against the Patriots in the last 5 minutes because the Patriots are the most prepared and best situational football team in the league. So it just happens a lot, it seems. And actually, apparently, that there's a sound effects on the Steelers this week and how unprepared they were. Like one thing we didn't really discuss on the recap was how unprepared the Steelers were coming out of the challenge. Like they should have had 3-4 plays ready to go. Instead, they come out, they run a play, they get tackled, and then they didn't know what to do after that.
Well, because like the challenge is like for 8 minutes.
No, but they should have like 3-4 plays.
That's not on your point.
The problem is not, okay, what do we do after we scored the touchdown? Because we know we scored the touchdown because obviously you're going to kick an extra point. The question should be, okay, if this is not a touchdown, what are we doing? There should be 3-4 plays that you know already, so you're not confused that you're doing a stupid fake spike.
And that's why Tomlin is never going to be as good as Belichick. That's just how it is. Or even what I would consider one of the top 5 coaches in the league. Because they don't know.
I still think they should have kicked the field goal and went to overtime.
That was on Big Ben.
That was just a mistake though. You still have 30 seconds to go at your own the 10-yard line?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had no timeout. Just kill the clock.
Kev, if you kick the field goal right then, the Patriots still had 2 timeouts.
There's only 10 seconds. How good do you think Tom Brady is? Is he God?
He's great. Yeah, he's outstanding, bro. Was there 10 seconds left on that clock? I thought there was more time.
Something like that.
What he should have been, if you were going to spike it, take it down to 1, spike it, kick the field goal.
I think in the moment they just didn't have that prepared. I don't know. I think they were too.
How are you not prepared to think about that? Like
because they didn't.
This is.
They didn't think Hayward Bay was
paid millions of dollars.
They probably didn't think Hayward Bay was going to get out of or not get out of bounds. I don't know.
Well,
in that situation, we clearly saw them fuck up in the first place. So,
I just you have to assume. Okay, don't assume that he's not going to get out of bounds. You got to kind of think about the options.
That's the Steelers organization. They assume things before they even come out there and do it. I'm just saying that's more of the Steelers organization thing. That's just how I feel. Training Solution says, Nick threw for 7 touchdowns against the Raiders in 2013. There you go. Ferocious says, I've always liked the Foles. Let's see. Kevo, if the Eagles win, they get the first. Yeah, they win either of their 2 games, they'll get the first.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry. Who said that? Was that AC?
No. It was. Who was it?
I usually have to say something ridiculous to get a comment from AC. Maybe I should go back. Should I change one of my picks to the Browns just for the hell of it?
Yes.
No,
But you're playing the Bears. It's not like that's not really ridiculous.
The Browns-Jags one was the worst pick of the year. I'm sorry, Kev. That was the worst pick this year. It was Marcos who said that, by the way. Training Solutions says BLV is growing lately, especially the chat. It's awesome. Thank you. Yes, it has. We're almost there. 4,000, baby. 30 more subscribers before the end of the year. Let's go, guys. If you're not subscribed. Colin says Foles is a good backup. Yes, he is. We agreed he's probably one of the best QB backups in the league. Training Solution says we will rest our starters against the Cowboys, Kev, because if we win, we secure the first seed because we beat the Panthers while the Vikings lose to them. So that's also in the favor. So I do want the Eagles to win this week because if the Cowboys win this week as well, it could be very easy. And plus, I'd like to point out that the Eagles did beat the Cowboys week 17, so we gave them a little bit of a win. Can you do the same thing? Thank you very much. Let's see here. Bobby's hating on Zeke because he's just a hater. And I'm not saying that because, like his comment says, I hate Zeke. Guy is trash. Screw OSU. So, yeah. This is okay. I like that the guy is commenting. This is the worst comment I've seen. Jess says Zeke is the new Eddie Lacy. Huh?
That doesn't make sense.
That's hating on a 7th degree right there. Lacey's eating Chinese food and burgers still,
But that doesn't even make sense.
Exactly.
He's not even close. No.
Like it doesn't even compare the situation.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
One's fat and one is from Eagle.
One got suspended. Colin says Zeke is going to be eaten. Training Solution says, is Kev a priest? Are you a barista?
Am I a barista? No.
Are you a priest?
No. Do I
P-R-I-E-S.
should I no, I'm not a priest.
But you
no.
do know somebody that's one. Yeah, you do know somebody. The priest. Let's see here. If Ferocious Film says Dez is a joke. I don't know about a joke. He's not great, but Bell was a free agent next season. I did not know that. That could be interesting. He'll probably re-sign, but let's see.
I don't know if that's the case. I'm not entirely convinced of that, actually.
Well, I said where would you have him going?
Well, he would look good in a Seattle Seahawks jersey, but
no. I mean, yes, it would help your run game tremendously. I don't see that happening though.
Why? But we'll get into that later. But
we'll have to see when it comes. If it becomes more of a believability, we'll see.
I think he's going to want a hell of a lot of money.
Yep, as he should.
And for running backs, as valuable as they are, do you really want to pay him that much?
Depends on how long the contract is. If it's a 4-year contract, I'm giving him as much money as he wants.
I don't know if I would, actually. I might let him walk.
That is why. You've seen he's one of the most valuable players in the league. Like,
is he at his prime?
He's still in it.
Seen the best of him?
I think he's in his prime right now.
How many more years has he got?
4. That's why I gave him a 4-year contract.
Who's in his prime?
Bell.
I think he's in his prime right now. Thus, he should not be signed to a longer contract. He is a running back. He will only have a couple more good years.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if I would pay him as much as he wants.
It depends on how many years he wants. If he wants more than that, I might let him walk. But if he wants anything from a...
How old is he?
I think he's 24.
And he's already had like a ridiculous amount of touches and injuries. So you have to think about that. I think he's only going to be a top 5 running back for about 3 more years.
Kev, search his age real quick. Can you?
25.
It's not necessarily the age as much as it is the touches.
I get that. I'm saying he's not only like a guy that I would use in a run game, he's a good receiver too. So
I know, that's why I'm saying I think he'll only be like a top 5 running back for another 3 years.
I would give him I'm saying a 4-year contract. I'm not even going that much farther than you guys. So
I just think like running backs are so easy to find. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. How many great running backs do you know in the league, though?
I don't think you need a great running back.
I think, there's a lot of teams going with 2 or 3.
You have to have, I don't know. I think it's a valuable thing for each team if they have it. Trading solutions.
If they have it. That's not it. It's you don't need it.
But teams that are successful use a running back in some kind of form. Like that, I'm not.
Yes, but like, do you need the top best running back in the league?
I wouldn't say every team does, but I'm saying you need something there. I think for the Pittsburgh Steelers, it would be nice for Bell to be there. I don't think they can find a viable option.
Obviously, it's nice for him to be there, but how much money are we talking here?
Yeah, because you have a defense that you really do need to repair.
How much would you
like?
Question: how much money would you give him?
I don't know. I don't like giving running backs that much money because they can drop off at any moment. They're the position that has the most volatility to it.
How much money would you give him?
What's that?
How much money?
You would have, okay, it's not how much you would give him, it's that he would have to be the top paid running back in the NFL. And he is a running back that's already had 3 years in his prime.
I would give him a decent amount of money. I'm not going to pay him like a fifth.
And you're not going to get him, though. It's as simple as that.
I don't know how much money he wants, though. That's my question. I don't know how much he wants.
He's going to want to be the top running back in the league.
If you could draft a running back and you can replace and you can fix that linebacking core and that secondary with Bell money, I would probably be more inclined to do that than sign Bell. Because I think it's easier to I think you have to fix, if you can fix 3 solutions over 1 with the same amount, I think you need to do it. Like the one thing that concerns me about Pittsburgh going forward is how long can they survive? This defense is not a Pittsburgh Steeler the way we have known over history defense.
Well,
and they have
because you guys are sleeping on Bell. I'm not sleeping on Bell. He's the best running back in the league. It's just if you have to be, I don't like paying running backs top dollar.
Yeah, that's my problem too. It's not that I hate Bell. I don't know if I would pay him the amount. When you can fix 2 or 3 other positions with the same amount of money, I would consider doing that. And the running back draft class, this draft is a good running back class.
How many draft classes in a row have we seen good running backs come out? This last class was amazing. Class before that was really good. The class before that was good. I mean, like, how many classes do we need in a row to say, hey, running backs are pretty good and coming out of college football? College football is like producing really good running backs. It's some other positions like offensive line that aren't, and maybe even quarterback, that aren't really producing a ton of talent.
Quarterback trash. It depends on how much you would want. That's my question. Training Solutions says BLV, make my day. Appreciate it. With these streams. Mitch, can we get a bet for that?
Yes. How much you want to do?
That's the call. I want to hear this bet. That'd be interesting.
$100.
$100. Holy shit.
We did 200. Me and Bodo did 200.
All right, I want some decent money. I like that. Thanks, Bodo. You want to do another bet? That'd be great.
You guys should bet on the Cowboys Seahawks. Something should have to happen if one of your teams wins.
No, because I can't bet on my own. I can't bet on my own team. I feel too scared when that happens.
Yeah.
Dilly should have to wear like a Eddie Lacy jersey if Hawks win.
Oh, okay. Not a monetary bet.
And Kevil should have to wear a Zeke jersey or something.
Yeah, I like that. I would.
Or a Jason Garrett suit.
I'll clap like Jason Garrett. I'll do this with strong palms. The strong palm clap that Jason Garrett does. That's what I would do.
Eddie Lacy jersey fit me though? I don't know. I don't know. I think they only make him in 3XL and larger. Ferocious says, "Why does this guy in red headphones look like Mitchell Trubisky's little brother?" I mean, does anybody have that face comparison? I don't
you think I look like Mitchell Trubisky or Mitchell Trubisky's little brother.
That's what he said. Mitchell. Well, like I am Mitchell Trubisky's little brother. I think that's what he's. I don't know. I haven't looked at that.
Well, your last name is Villa, so I don't think it quite goes.
Trubisky, Villa.
Close enough.
Well, yeah, true. Roche says Lacey is so bad. Yes, he is. Major Sugger says Atlanta will get the 6th seed. AC is in the chat. Says hashtag Kev is a barista. Yes, indeed.
No, I'm not a barista. What if
people are talking about like how many years they would give him. Train Solution says, "Why would you bet against the Pats? Bad idea." Where's the bet, man? Colin, where's the bet?
He said $10. Okay, we'll do $10.
Okay, that's fair. Can I get on this bet? I'll bet $10 too. And that was easy PayPal right there. Actually, can I get 20? Because like PayPal takes like $1.25 out of every like thing you get out of it. Pisses me off.
Yeah, let's do $11.25. How about that?
Yeah, $11.25. I'll take you on that. I'll wait for his response. He said yes. Awesome. So we got 2 bets going here. All right, Colin. I bet to hear you. Next $11.25. Train Solution says Kaepernick equals CFL with Johnny. Yeah, no. Kaepernick and Manziel in the XFL.
No. Kaepernick's not going to the CFL. I don't know if Kaepernick's ever going to play for.
What are you playing in the back?
Playing some rock and roll, bad.
It sounded like
music here.
Jet.
Yeah. I want some XFL.
I know Kaepernick's not going to the CFL.
On the XFL?
Fuck that. That is not happening.
It is.
That's shit. That is unbelievable.
It is. You know what? I still wanted to see it happen. I don't know how much money he's going to lose this time around, but I would be very interested to watch it.
There is rumors Disney wants to buy WWE, by the way.
Who does?
Disney.
Please.
That would be.
Please. Hashtag hire Vince Russo.
Hire Vince. Hire. I don't think Disney and Vince go to bed well together. All right. So Colin's got that $11.25 or $11.25 bet with us for both of us. So there you go. And that is it. That is the chat. All
right. Thank you guys for joining us here on the Week 16 preview and prediction show from Kevil, Dilly Vanilli. I'm Mitch. We are the Bottom Line View. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we will see you. I don't know when. Tomorrow. Dylan, are you doing that video, or do you want me to do that video?
That video?
The topic as we discussed.
Well, I thought you were going to do it.
What video?
Oh, because you're like, what should I do for the topic video? And then
well, I mean,
I can do it if you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow I will be doing that. So tomorrow I will be doing a live video here on the Bottom Line View, and it will be about who will make the playoffs, who will win these last 2 weeks in order to get into the playoffs. So if you're a Falcons fan, a Lions fan, a Cowboys fan, a Chargers fan, a Ravens fan, if you're interested in any of those teams, you'll definitely want to check that out. Also, all the other teams that are in the top seeds, we'll see where they land. Will the Saints be the 3rd seed or the Rams? Stuff like that. So you'll see your first week matchup after I give you my predictions for the next 2 weeks. All right, guys, that's coming up tomorrow. We'll see you then. Peace out.
Peace.